if you've noticed the symbol that I have on my background right now, that symbol is like a pregnancy badge in Japan. And it's to let people know that you're pregnant when it might not be so obvious that you're pregnant. I got one when I first reported my pregnancy to the city ward, and when I first went to the doctor and got it confirmed, I also received one from the doctor. It's a little badge like this. It means in my stomach there's a baby. And it has a strap, and you're supposed to strap it onto your bag. That way people can tell that you're pregnant. And this is especially useful on the train. There are priority seats on the train reserved for people that are pregnant, or old people, or what else is it? Injured people, handicapped people. And supposedly, if you're wearing this badge, people are supposed to give their seats to you. And this kind of goes into the question a couple of y'all had about how pregnant women are treated in Japan. To be honest with you, I don't really look all that pregnant yet. In fact, I really doubt that anyone can tell. For one thing, pregnant women in Japan are sort of hard to identify. A lot of women don't gain a whole lot of weight. It's mostly in their tummy, and they might wear like a baggy shirt or a thick shirt, and it's pretty hard to tell until the later stages, which is, why the badge was devised. Also, it's winter right now, and I just basically cover up with a jacket, so I don't think it's obvious. I do have this badge, but when I wear the jacket and hold my purse like this, it's pretty hard to notice this little badge, right? It's not going to be the first thing you look at when you see someone. If you're standing in the train, it would be about eye level, and there'd be a better chance to see it if someone's sitting. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I don't look very pregnant yet, so it's hard for me to answer the question of how pregnant women are treated in Japan. But I have witnessed a lot of women on the train with the badge not getting noticed. And I've heard some of my friends complain about this aspect. And that is that, sorry, I'm out of breath. I get out of breath easy. And that is that a lot of people ignore the badge. And they do that with older people too. I'm not sure if people are just trying to be rude or if they're just afraid of confrontation or want to avoid confrontation. But a lot of people will pretend to not notice the badge, or pretend to be asleep, pretend to be looking at their cell phone and not notice, so that, they don't feel obligated to give you their seat. And I've heard a lot of people complain about that. And I've seen it happen with a lot of elderly people too. Of course, with the elderly people, sometimes there's a fine line between, what is old and what's not old, and I always feel like I might be insulting if I offer my seat to someone who doesn't feel that old. It's like saying, hey, you're an old person, would you like my seat, So I do have that issue myself. Of course, if it's an obviously old person, then, it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, that's a different topic. Now maybe some people feel like, a woman who's not really huge and pregnant doesn't really need the seat. I don't know. To me personally, that's been true most of the time. I've been pretty healthy, pretty stable, pretty normal feeling most of the pregnancy. But I know a lot of women have a lot of problems in the first trimester, and whichever is probably not good for the baby to, for the mom to stand. And a lot of women have to work or go to school, and, those times I'm sure it would be really nice to be able to sit down for a little while, because you do have a lot of problems. So I think it is pretty rude for people not to offer their seats to pregnant women. Of course, not everyone's like that. There's exceptions, especially women are more likely to give up their seat for that. Otherwise, how I've been treated. I've think some store clerks have noticed the badge, because some store clerks have made a great effort to lift my shopping cart from the buggy for me. They're always supposed to be, you know, very observant of the customer's needs, and I think they're probably, I don't know this, but I'm just assuming that they're probably told to be kind of aware of that, maybe. Otherwise, I haven't noticed any different kind of treatment. But when I first got the badge, I didn't want to wear it. When I was like really in the really early stages of pregnancy, I wasn't showing, and I didn't feel bad, you know. I didn't feel like I needed any special treatment. So I didn't wear the badge for a while. And my husband and Tikan were like, you know, you should wear it because, you know, people will treat you sweet. People will treat you nicer. You should wear it, you know. Take advantage of that while you have it. So apparently they must think that women who wear them get treated more special. But I don't have a whole lot of interactions in my day-to-day life. I go shopping. Sometimes I meet with a friend. I go to my mom-in-law's house sometimes. But I don't really have a whole lot of, you know, I'm not out trekking around exploring, so I don't know. I haven't noticed a whole lot of difference. You know, I was treated well before, and I'm treated well now. So, and as far as other pregnant women, I don't see them very often. I'll be honest with you. I live in a town where there's a lot of families. It's a very family-oriented town. And there's kids everywhere, strollers everywhere, you know, which is rare for Japan. When we lived in Tokyo, I hardly ever saw that kind of stuff. But I live in a family-oriented suburb-type town now. And, yeah, there's a lot of families, so it's kind of strange to me that I don't see as many pregnant women as you would think. Every now and then I'll see one walking around. But they're always the really big, obvious, you know, about to give birth kind of women. Other women I just don't notice. And before I got the pregnancy badge myself, I didn't notice other women wearing it. I had never noticed a woman wearing the pregnancy badge. So I think they're pretty hard to notice. After pregnancy, I had noticed it a couple times. So that's my report on my treatment so far. I'll make another video about that later when I have more experience with the matter. I just wanted to show y'all the pregnancy badge, the maternity mark, or I'm not sure what they call it. They do use the word maternity in Japan, so I think it's probably maternity badge, maybe. I think Japanese people would understand that. I'm not sure what they call it, though. I'll have to ask about that. But I think it's a nice little custom.